ด้วยนะครับสำหรับคุณหมอสุภกรบัวสายนะครับผู้จัดการสำนักงานส่งเสริมสังคมแห่งการเรียนรู้และคุณภาพเยาวชนสสค.ของเรานั่นเองซึ่งก็ทำให้เรามีงานดีๆในบ่ายวันนี้ได้นะครับเอาล่ะผมว่าทุกคนนะครับรอคอยกันมานานเหลือเกินสำหรับงานในบ่ายวันนี้นะครับรวมถึงตัวของผมเองด้วยนะครับซึ่งต้องบอกว่าส่วนตัวเนี่ยมีโอกาสเป็นคุณครูด้วยเหมือนกันนะครับแล้วก็มีโอกาสสอนเด็กๆในชั้นป .5 ป .6 จริงๆเสาร์อาทิตย์ที่ผ่านมาเนี่ยเพิ่งจะจัดแคมป์ให้กับน้องๆไปเองนะครับในเรื่องของการพัฒนาภาวะผู้นำในเยาวชนนะครับแล้วต้องบอกว่าเด็กสมัยนี้ผมว่าคุณครูทุกคนน่าจะเข้าใจดีว่าไม่ได้สอนกันง่ายๆเนาะเด็กตัวนี้เริ่มเปลี่ยนเริ่มกลายพันธุ์ไปเยอะเหลือเกินนะฮะแล้วเราที่เป็นครูใช่ไหมครับก็เริ่มที่จะหนักใจว่าเราจะทำอย่างไรดีนะครับที่จะสามารถสอนเขานะครับแล้วก็ช่วยเหลือเขาได้อย่างมากที่สุดจริงๆเพราะผมเชื่อเหลือเกินนะครับว่าทุกท่านที่อย่างน้อยตัดสินใจเป็นคุณครูในวันนี้เนี่ยเราอยากจะมอบสิ่งที่ดีที่สุดให้กับเด็กๆนักเรียนของเราอยู่แล้วนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นนี่นะฮะเอาล่ะครับเดี๋ยวเราจะได้รู้กันในบ่ายวันนี้รวมถึงช่วงบ่ายวันนี้นะครับอยากให้เป็นกิจกรรมในการฟังนะครับวิทยากรของเรารวมถึงการเสวนาอย่างสนุกสนานเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยอยากให้คุณครูทุกคนนะครับสามารถที่จะตั้งคำถามขึ้นมาได้นะครับใครที่สามารถที่จะออกมานะครับถามโดยตรงเลยก็ได้หรือว่าจะเขียนใส่กระดาษนะครับแล้วก็มอบให้กับเจ้าหน้าที่เลยก็ได้เช่นเดียวกันตลอดเวลาของการเสวนาในบ่ายวันนี้อยากให้เป็นบรรยากาศแบบผ่อนคลายนะครับแล้วก็เป็นกันเองด้วยนะครับแต่เดี๋ยวก่อนอื่นผมขออนุญาตทักทายวิทยากรของเราสักเล็กน้อยสักนิดนึงก่อนแล้วกันนะครับ Hello Mr. Rafe Finally you're here in Bangkok Welcome once again นะครับขอต้อนรับอีกทีหนึ่งนะเพราะว่าครูเรฟอย่างที่บอกนะครับว่าจริงๆไม่ใช่เรื่องปกติที่ครูเรฟนะครับจะยอมขาดสอนนะครับถึง2วันด้วยกันนะครับแล้วก็บินตรงดิ่งมาถึงเมืองไทยนะฮะนี่เป็นเรื่องที่พิเศษจริงๆนะครับที่ทางสสค.เนี่ยได้เชิญครูเรฟมาเป็นพิเศษนะครับและครูเรฟก็ตัดสินใจนะครับที่จะมาแล้วก็มอบประโยชน์ให้กับคุณครูที่เรียกว่ามาจากทั่วทั้งประเทศไทยกันเลยทีเดียวนะครับ I have to say that all teachers here across Thailand they try very hard as you know that in this moment we are facing some hard situations like flooding You may know about that, right? And right now, all the teachers across Thailand, they try really hard to come here today with a good intention to see you in person. I really want to listen of what you have got for us to speak today. So we're really happy to have you here this afternoon, Mr. Rafe. And เดี๋ยวขอบอกเขานิดนึงเพราะว่าเดี๋ยวเราจะเรียกเขาเป็นคุณครูเรฟด้วยนะครับในบ่ายวันนี้นะฮะ And just one more thing, all teachers in Thailand, we always use the word kru in front of the name, and that really means teacher. That connotes of the respect and the respect we have for teacher. So as you are here this afternoon and you are one of us, we would like to call you also Kru Rafe. Is that okay with you? นะครับเพื่อจะสร้างความคุ้นเคยสักนิดนึงจะขอเรียกครูเรฟด้วยนะครับซึ่งครูเรฟก็ยินดีมากๆเลยนะครับอย่างที่บอกนะครับครูเรฟก็มีประสบการณ์ยาวนานในการสอนและผมว่าทุกคนตอนนี้เนี่ยน่าจะอยากได้ฟังนะครับได้ยินเสียงตัวจริงเสียงจริงของครูเรฟแล้วเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยขอเสียงปรบมือดังๆให้กับครูเรฟ Ladies and gentlemen Mr. Rafe Esquith please
Hello. I first of all wanted to thank everybody who brought me here. Many people worked very, very hard. I see you all here. Thank you. I don't know how to thank all of you for being here today, except to try and be entertaining and hope to share some ideas with you. I do want to tell you that there is a story that I like to tell when I talk to teachers. And I don't know if it will be funny for you, but I'm going to try. As this gentleman said, yes, I have won many, many awards, and that is not interesting to me. It is nice being made a member of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth. That happened to me. It's nice being given awards from the Dalai Lama and the President. But what I am proud of is that I am still a classroom teacher. I do that every day of my life. And that is what makes me excited. The day that I came here, I taught for 12 hours and then got on a plane and came here. I will talk tomorrow, get on a plane, and be back in my classroom Wednesday morning. And this is what I do for a living, and I think all teachers, even when maybe people are not proud of us, we should be proud of ourselves because the work we do is very important. The funny story that I would like to share with you is usually a speaker will tell you that he's very interesting and exciting and amazing, and that is not me. There is a woman in America. This is better? Is this better? Yes. Thank you. There is a woman in America named Oprah. She is a very famous, rich celebrity. And she gives an award called the Angel Award. When she hears that someone is doing good work, she gives them $100,000 for their cause. But people lie to Oprah. They come on her television show and they make up stories to get her praise and her attention. And because of that, these days, Oprah actually hires a private investigator to follow you, to see if you are as good as she has heard. So many years ago, a man walked into my classroom, and I thought he was a teacher. We have 1,000 visitors a year to my classroom from all over the world. So I walked to this man and I said, "How are you?" And he said, "Rafe, I'm not a teacher. I am a private investigator, and I have been following you for the last month of your life," which scared me to death. And I said, what is going on? And he said, "I work for Oprah." And he said, "I never, ever, ever talk to anybody I follow. I just write a report and send it to Oprah, but I wanted to talk to you." He said, "I have good news and bad news. Good news," he said, "you have the greatest class of children ever, ever. Amazing. What you are doing is amazing. No one will ever understand what you do. You are going to be an Oprah Angel winner. You are going to be given $100,000 for your class. That's the good news." He said, "The bad news, I wanted to tell you face to face that you are the most boring man I have ever followed in my life." He said, "You don't do anything." He said, "You go to a class, you teach for 12 hours, you go home to your wife and children, you don't go out, you don't stop for a beer, you don't have a parking ticket, you don't fight with people, you are very boring and you need to get a life." So I wanted to apologize to all of you that you are going to spend a few minutes now with the most boring man you will ever listen to. Hobart School, where I teach, is not an easy place to teach. All of the children get a free breakfast and a free lunch every day. They are poor. Nobody speaks English as their first language. Most of the children do not have two parents at home. Some have no parents at home. Here is one statistic that really shocked me. Only 30% of the children at Hobart School finish the 12th grade. Almost nobody goes to college. And I came there 25 years ago and went into shock. And I tried to figure out what I could do to change this. I don't have all the answers, but I've come here today to share with you some things that I do. And maybe you can use some of them in your classroom. When I first got to Hobart, I noticed that all of the children are afraid. They are very afraid in school. And I have been able to watch classrooms all around the world. And I will tell you, I think the children are afraid. They're afraid of us, and they are afraid of each other. They are afraid of people laughing at them. They are afraid of making mistakes. So the first thing I do as a teacher is to make the children feel safe. I work very hard to make the children feel safe. To do that, here is my first rule of teaching. You are a role model. You must be the person you want the children to be. I want my children to be nice. That means I have to be the nicest person they have ever met. All the time. All the time. If you are screaming at the children to be nice. That doesn't work because screaming isn't nice. I do not raise my voice to children ever. Do I get things? Because Rule 50 says not to. I am not against rules, but my favorite people in history broke the rules. I don't drive safely because it's a rule. I drive safely because I don't want to hurt anybody. I want my class to go beyond the rules. I want my class to get to at least level 5. Level 5 is that I do things because I am considerate of other people. Other people. I am quiet in a hotel room. Not because it's a rule. I'm not quiet because Rafe's going to be mad. I understand that there's someone in the next room and I really don't want to disturb them. I'm quiet in a movie theater because I respect the other people in the theater. That's the 5th level. But the highest level of thinking, level 6, and I tell my children, you cannot get to level 6 right now. It takes your whole life to develop your own code of behavior, where you no longer think of what other people think or how other people feel. It's your code. I'm a nice person because I'm a nice person. I work hard because I do. I don't expect anything for it. That's the 6th level. Now, funny, I have teachers from all over the world write to me, and they say, Rafe, I love the 6 levels. But I taught my class 1 week ago, and we didn't reach level 6 yet. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. This is a long journey, a lifetime journey. I am just starting this conversation, and all through the year, the children look around and see level 6, level 5, level 4 thinking, and they start to think about their own behavior. And I will tell you a funny story. Many years ago, I took a group of children to New York City. And in New York City, have any of you heard of the Empire State Building? The big building. You can go to the top, but you have to wait in a long line. Long line. Hours. And I had 41 children with me in New York City, and that morning my wife Barbara could not come. She was sick. While you're waiting in the line, they have all of these shops that encourage you to spend money. They try to get your money. And one of the places you can go to is a movie theater ride where the theater shakes and you take a wild ride through New York City. And I asked the children, would you like to go on the ride? And they said yes. But to go on the ride, you have to line up against a wall where they have one of those red ropes in front of the theater, and you buy your tickets across the hall. So I lined up the 41 children, and I walked over to buy the tickets. And the children were standing against the wall like this. And there was a young New York man. It was his job to take your ticket and tear it. And he walked over to the children to talk to them, not knowing I was watching him. And he was a very New York man, very loud. And he yelled at the children, "Hey, are you guys having fun?" And the children said, "Uh-huh." "Well, you sure are quiet." "Uh-huh." "Well, what are you so quiet about?" And one of the kids said, "Well, you have to understand, this is a public place, and we don't make noise in public places. It's a level 6 thing." And I'm watching this, I'm just so proud of them. And he pointed to one of my students and said,